At first glance, the world seems obvious. We assume that what we see is simply what is there. Colors, people, situations, outcomes, all appearing as neutral facts, independent of our inner state. But if perception were truly objective, everyone would see the same reality. The same situations would feel the same to everyone. The same events would carry the same meaning. And yet, this is clearly not the case. Two people can experience the same moment and walk away with completely different interpretations. One sees opportunity, the other sees risk. One feels welcomed, the other feels rejected. The event itself does not change, only the lens through which it is viewed. This is the quiet starting point. We do not experience reality directly. We experience a version of it, shaped by something deeper than what is immediately visible. Perception is often compared to a camera, but this comparison is misleading. A camera records what is in front of it. The brain does something very different. It interprets, predicts, and fills in gaps. At any moment, far more information reaches your senses than your brain can process. To function at all, it must select, simplify, and organize. What you see is not a full picture of reality, but a constructed one, shaped by expectations, memory, and context. The brain constantly asks, what is this likely to be? What does it mean? What should I pay attention to? These questions are answered automatically before conscious thought begins. Because of this, perception is not passive. It is an active process of interpretation. The world you experience is not just what is out there. It is what your brain has decided is relevant, familiar, or important enough to notice. Beliefs act as filters through which perception passes. They quietly determine what stands out and what fades into the background. You do not notice everything. You notice what fits your internal model of how the world works. If you believe the world is unsafe, your attention naturally scans for signs of threat. If you believe opportunities are rare, you are more likely to overlook them. If you believe people cannot be trusted, small signals are interpreted as confirmation. This process happens automatically. The belief does not announce itself. It simply guides attention, shaping what feels obvious and what goes unseen. Over time, this selective focus creates a consistent picture of reality. The world does not change, but what you notice within it does. And because attention feels effortless and natural, it is easy to mistake this filtered perception for objective truth. The brain is not neutral in what it notices. It is designed to look for consistency. Once a belief is in place, the mind begins to search for evidence that confirms it. Information that supports an existing belief feels familiar and is easily absorbed. Information that challenges it feels uncomfortable and is often ignored, dismissed, or reinterpreted. This happens quietly, without conscious intent. Over time, this creates the impression that beliefs are constantly being proven right. You notice examples that fit your view and overlook those that don't. The brain experiences this as clarity, even though it is actually narrowing perspective. This is why beliefs feel so convincing. They are reinforced by selective attention, not because they are always accurate, but because the mind prefers coherence over contradiction. Past experience quietly shapes expectation. Every situation you encounter is compared, often unconsciously, with what has happened before. The brain uses memory as a reference point, asking, have I seen something like this? How did it turn out? If past experiences were negative, the mind learns to anticipate difficulty. If they were supportive, it expects cooperation. These expectations are not predictions in words. They are felt assumptions that guide perception from the very beginning. Because expectation comes first, it influences how new events are interpreted. Neutral situations can feel threatening. Ambiguous signals can feel reassuring. The present moment is filtered through the emotional weight of the past. In this way, experience does not stay behind us. It travels forward, shaping what we expect to see, and therefore what we actually notice. Emotion strengthens perception. What carries emotional weight feels more real, more important, and more convincing. When a belief is tied to fear, hope, or attachment, it gains intensity. This is why emotionally charged beliefs are difficult to question. The feeling attached to them creates a sense of certainty. The body responds as if the belief reflects an undeniable truth, even when evidence is limited or ambiguous. Emotion also sharpens focus. What triggers a strong feeling stands out in awareness while neutral information fades. Over time, this emotional emphasis makes certain interpretations feel obvious and unquestionable. Because of this, belief and emotion reinforce each other. The stronger the feeling, the more real the belief seems, and the more real the belief seems, the more easily the mind finds confirmation for it. Once belief, attention, and emotion align, a self-reinforcing cycle begins to form. What you believe shapes what you notice influences how you interpret events. And interpretation quietly guides behavior. Behavior then interacts with the world in a specific way. Someone who expects rejection may hold back, speak cautiously, or avoid engagement. Someone who expects opportunity may lean in, ask questions, or take small risks. These behaviors naturally lead to different outcomes. When results appear, they are experienced as confirmation. The mind concludes, "This is how life works for me." The belief feels proven, even though it helped shape the situation that produced the result. Over time, this loop becomes stable. The same patterns repeat. Life begins to feel predictable, not because reality is fixed, but because perception, behavior, and outcome are continuously reinforcing one another. This is why people often feel as if they are living in different worlds. The external environment may be similar, but the meaning assigned to it is not. Each person is responding to a reality filtered through their own system of beliefs. Two individuals can witness the same event and walk away with opposite conclusions. One feels encouraged, the other discouraged. One sees possibility, the other sees confirmation of limitation. The difference is not in what happened, but in how it was interpreted. Because these interpretations feel immediate and natural, they are rarely questioned. The experience feels direct, as if the world itself were delivering the message. But what is actually being experienced is an internal translation. In this way, people do not disagree about facts as much as they disagree about meaning. And meaning is shaped long before awareness arrives by beliefs that quietly guide perception. When beliefs are brought into awareness, perception begins to open. What once felt automatic becomes visible. The mind gains the ability to pause, to notice alternatives, and to question first impressions. This does not mean abandoning beliefs or forcing new ones. It means recognizing that what you see is not the whole picture. As soon as this is understood, attention becomes more flexible. Different details register. New interpretations become possible. With this flexibility, experience changes. Situations feel less rigid. Reactions slow down. Choice expands, not because reality is transformed, but because the filter through which it is seen has softened. Seeing differently begins with noticing how you are already seeing, and that quiet shift is often enough to change what feels possible. You do not see reality as it is. You see it as your beliefs allow you to see it. This is not a flaw in perception. It is how the mind creates coherence in a complex world. Beliefs provide structure. They help the brain decide what matters and what doesn't. But when they remain unseen, they quietly define the boundaries of experience. Awareness does not remove beliefs, it loosens their grip. It allows perception to become less rigid, more open, and more responsive to what is actually present. The world itself does not change when beliefs shift, but your relationship with it does. And in that change, reality begins to feel wider, clearer, and more alive than before.